Why they gotta change for you? Why? Who are you? Why you? They've been living like that for their whole life. People are allowed to do zero effort if that's what they choose. It was only my mistake. And then my ego was hurt. Scared of looking too harsh or looking like a bitch. You don't want to be a bad guy. Hey everyone, my name is Eva and welcome back to my channel. For the longest time, I was that girl who gave endless chances. The one who texted first, who showed up for, who excused bad communication and flaky behavior because I believed that if I just gave people enough time, that eventually match my energy. Spoiler alert, they didn't. So in today's video, I'm gonna talk about low effort people and how to stop keeping them in your life. So before we start, don't forget to follow and click this like button and let's dive into it. I let low effort friendship, low effort relationship, and even low effort work opportunities stay in my life way longer than they deserved. And you know what changed? I stopped tolerating it. I raised my standards and I insist that you do it as well. And the moment I did, my entire life, my confidence, my peace, my energy shifted completely. But there's something important. This video isn't about being mad at people for not meeting my expectations. People are allowed to do zero effort if that's what they choose. They don't owe me the same energy I give them. The problem wasn't that they weren't showing up for me. The problem was that I kept expecting them to. I kept giving, hoping, and being disappointed. That was on me. So let's talk about why we keep entertaining these low effort people. The exact moment I stopped and what happens when you finally decide you deserve more. Let's start with a little reality check. Sometimes we think, oh, they're just bad at communication, or they're just bad texters, or maybe they just have a lot of things going on. But let's be real, if someone wanted to show up, they would. Here's how low effort people actually show themselves. So let's talk about these signs. First, they only text when they need something from you. They're never around when you're struggling, but the moment they need a favor, oops, they're right here. They remember your existence, they are so nice to you just because they want something from you. Second, their plans are last minute or always falling through. They hit you up with, oh, we should hang out soon, but never pick a day. Or they cancel again and again and again with some weak excuse. Third, your effort is always more than theirs. And trust me, you're gonna feel that. You are the one who's checking in. You are the one who's planning things. You are the one who's keeping this connection alive. Aren't you tired of that? Next is they support you, but only on surface level. They'll hype you up in public, but behind the scenes, they're nowhere to be found when it really matters. So I had a friend who did the whole Instagram story performance for my birthday. 10 stories about how good I am, how cool I am, and how cool she is that she is a friend with a famous influencer. But guess what? She didn't even call me. She didn't even message me. She didn't even put a like on my birthday post. What is going on? Are you bragging that you have friends like me, or are we actually friends? Next, they're too busy, but somehow never too busy for other people or for other stuff. If someone tells you they don't have time, but they always seem to make time for someone else, believe that. And if you've ever caught yourself making excuses for people like this, same. But here's what happens when you finally stop and when you finally start to choose yourself. There was this one moment that really hit me. I was going through a rough time and I reached out to a friend, someone I had been there for countless times. Listen to their problems, show up when they needed me. And you know what response I got? Oh my god, that sounds so rough. Hope you're gonna feel better soon. Girl, I'm out of here dealing with depression. Wow, a whole 2-second response to something that had me losing sleep, and that's when it just clicked for me. I was showing up for people who wouldn't do the same for me. Period. That's it. And it's not their fault. It's only my fault that I kept entertaining this type of relationship, that I kept expecting them to do the same thing to me. And here's where I take responsibility. This wasn't the first time this happened. These people had showed me thousands of times that they weren't gonna show up for me, that they weren't gonna be there when things go rough. And still, I was delusional enough to expect it. I kept expecting people to be different than they had already proven themselves to be. It was only my mistake. And then my ego was hurt. It's so hard to accept that you made a mistake. I just sat there looking at that message, and you know what? I felt dumb. Like, was I bending over backward for people who put zero effort to actually be there for me? So I made a decision. I was done. Done with this one-sided friendships, done with making excuses for people, done with chasing connections that should have died a long time ago. And the moment I stopped, my life became so much lighter and easier, so much more peaceful. But I won't lie, it was also uncomfortable at first. I was feeling pretty lonely because when you're used to putting in all the effort, it feels weird when you finally stop. So you might have asked yourself a question: why these low effort people stay in your life and how to stop? Why do we let these people stay in our lives? Why do we make excuses for them? Because let's be honest, it's not that we don't see the signs. It's that we don't want to see them. We keep low effort people around because first, it's just comfortable. It's just our comfort zone. Maybe you've known them for years and cutting them off feels too dramatic. Everything is okay. Why are you acting out, right? Second, you don't want to be alone. Yes, and I feel you for that. But it doesn't mean that you have to settle for half-hearted connections. Third, you're scared of looking too harsh or looking like a bitch. You don't want to be a bad guy. Then you think you expect them to change. And just maybe this time they're finally gonna put effort. Maybe this time he's finally gonna send me flowers. Maybe this time she's finally gonna come and talk to me. But let me tell you something. You're not the bad person for wanting mutual energy in your relationship. You are not too much for expecting this. The only people who will call you difficult for raising your standards are the ones who were never planning to meet them. And don't feel guilty for setting your boundaries. I get it. I have a good girl syndrome as well. And cutting people off sounds too dramatic. And setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable, especially if you are used to be understanding, loving, comforting one. But here's one thing. Boundaries aren't walls. They're just filters for better connections, filters for better friendship, filters for people who are around you right now. And if you keep this low effort people around you, you won't have the energy to attract and to build stronger connection with people who actually worth it. You don't have to ghost people, to cut people off or be rude. But here's what you can do. First, stop chasing and see what happens. Just let them be. What's gonna happen if you stop reaching out first? Does the relationship will still exist? Does this relationship still exist? If not, here's the answer. Second, match their energy. If they text once a month, stop double texting. Stop checking in on them. If they cancel last minute, stop rescheduling. Stop. And one more very important thing, stop over-explaining yourself. You don't owe anyone a TED talk on why you're distancing yourself. You can just say, I'm just focusing on myself right now. That's enough. And please, girl, let go of the guilt. Prioritizing yourself isn't selfish. The right people won't guilt trip you for expecting effort. You don't even have to ask the right people for the effort. It's just totally fine for them to be appreciative of whatever you do and put the same energy in your connection. And at the end of the day, it's not about being mad at people for who they are. Just accept them as they are. Why are you trying to change them? Some people are low effort, and that's okay. That's how they've been living their entire life. That's how they were raised. That's how they behaved in school. That's how they live. They have every right to be that way. But I also have the right to choose whether I want to engage with these people or not. And if someone has shown you time and time again that they won't meet you halfway, please believe them. It's not your job to teach them how to treat you. It's your job to walk away when you see that they won't. You're not their mom, you're not their teacher, you're not their coach. Come on, you're not paid to train people. Just accept that. You are not a god. You are not the life coach. You don't have education for that, and you don't have time for that. Trust me, it is easier to build a new proper connection rather than trying to fix someone who doesn't want to be fixed. And how do you know what's better for them? This low effort mentality works for them their entire life. Why you gotta change that? Why they gotta change for you? Why? Who are you? Why you? They've been living like that for the whole life. And then boom, Eva comes and everything changes. No, this can only happen in a fairy tale, my dear. Sorry. Have you ever had to cut off a low effort person? How did it change your life? Let's talk in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. If this video resonated with you, make sure to subscribe and maybe share it with your friends. But that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!